It's only one step at a time, and it's like getting a lot of easy feedback. I don't like that.
What's up?
Anyways.
Did we start yet? You gotta let me know.
It's recording, but I'm gonna do this intro.
You gotta let me know.
I'm gonna do this intro.
Alright, do the intro.
She wants to know I'm like you, and I wanna bring her home. Soon as I get my money right, I'll get it by the end of the summer.
Alright, how to do it today. We have the podcast. My voice always changes when I like get on stage and shit because you know how it goes. Something's about being a character. Anyways, today we're starting this new podcast. It's called Shitface.
Yeah.
It's a Saturday. It's a Sunday after your Saturday where you got shit-faced.
Mm-hmm.
And
we talk about shit.
We just talk about dumb shit.
Alright.
So today's subject is mumble rap.
Mumble.
And why Josh hates mumble rap.
Yes.
No, he doesn't hate mumble rap. He thinks it's misunderstood. We've already had a pre-discussion to this.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I deleted it, so you don't get to hear it. But I kind of understand his views now, so there's not much of an argument.
We're just discussing.
We're just gonna be discussing and shit. Anyways, why do you hate mumble rap? Even though you don't hate it.
Yeah, it's not a hate. I think mumble rap is just an evolution. I enjoy the fact that hip hop has come to the point where it's evolving. Like I think like people forget that like any genre of music, like you look at rock and roll music, you look at jazz, you look at you look at classical music, everything evolves as a genre. So this is an evolution of hip hop. And I think people people like me that grew up, that loved like lyrical hip hop. I mean, as somebody who's like, a child of Nas and a child of Jay-Z, a child of Biggie, a child of Ghostface, a child of Scarface, like people that just told stories. And that's why I fell in love with hip hop, was just being able to, listen to these stories and be able to relate to them. I think it's.
So you don't hear those stories in today's mumble rap?
I think they're there. I just think it's done in a different way. So I think people that are so accustomed to hearing them in, the traditional way that I grew up hearing them, they are not willing to bend. But I mean, for the generation of people that are hearing mumble rap, it's like that. It's the same effect. So how can I sit here and be denounce something that's giving people the same effect that I got from Nas and from Jay-Z and from these people? So
you're so well said.
I mean, it's not any different to me. It's just it takes like for people like me who are used to something like anything, like it's a generational gap. And for being right in the middle of the generations, like I grew up with both of them basically. I mean, when Lil Yachty, Lil Uzi, and even people like Young Thug, like at first when I would hear, even Future, when Future first came out, it was hard for me. Like I was like, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Like I didn't see it when I heard like turn down the light. Like I heard the hook. I heard the hook and I was like, this hook is dope, but like I'm not understanding a single word he's saying, so I'm not connecting on that personal level. But then you listen to cause you listen to more and you go deeper, and then I can get that personal level out of Future. I know more about his story. I know his struggles with Sierra and his ex-wife, and Russell Wilson, and I know like his story through how like connected we are through social media.
You know what you're making me realize is that like.
Sorry, this is me.
The appeal of an artist is just feeling like you get to know them. So if you want.
It's a personal level, yeah. Like
if you want to be famous and shit, or if you want, you have to be able to give. You gotta give a character out at the very least.
Well, I mean, it's done on different levels. Like, I mean, I think to make a personal connection with your fans and to build a big fan base, like you have to have like a.
You have to have your character developed, which is why probably most of these underground rappers are not really popping. Like XXXTentacion is a character, even though he's being transparent. He's still like
he has like a very publicized character being built. You know what I mean? Like people know his story. And that's the same thing. Like they know his story and they can relate.
And they look at him. Fuck me.
Well, it doesn't help that it's like he's got some style. He's got some kind of like he's got a persona about him, and that helps definitely. He's got a star quality.
So I have a question though. Yeah. What is mumble rap?
I would say mumble rap is codeine influenced rap or Xanax influenced rap.
What the fuck?
I mean, when you think about like when I listen to like when I think of like at least from the origins of mumble rap, when you look at guys like I think Future is the god of mumble rap. Like I think Future is like
I think Future is mumble rap and Lil Yachty, Uzi Vert, all these other
and Lil Yachty and that being said,
aren't mumble rap, and I get so confused because people are like mumble rap, but I understand what
Lil
all
Yachty
these
is a square, bro. Like Lil
Yachty
is very like adamantly like I don't take drugs, I don't do these things, I don't do that. Like he's not mumble rap. Like you're right. Like he's not like when I think he just is from like he just doesn't have a very well pronounced, like he doesn't pronounce his words well. I think he's like by default mumble rap because he just doesn't know how to like necessarily like he's not a very well articulated speaker as far as like pronouncing words. Like I think he's well articulated. Like I think he's an intelligent statement. Well, I think he's an intelligent like young person, but I just don't think he's like he's not a good speaker. So he's mumble rap because he can't pronounce words well. Like, but Lil Uzi,
it gets called like Minnesota.
Yeah.
I think you say about this.
Yeah, I think he's indirectly put into mumble rap, even though he shouldn't directly be put.
I think
mumble rap though.
I think mumble rap comes from older people not taking the chance to listen, and they're just like
they just glance over.
Yeah.
I think that's a great point because I think I was one of those people at first.
It's like when you shout or when someone calls your name and you don't know who it is and you just don't recognize their voice, so it kind of just phases through you. Yeah. And then if they keep calling your name, eventually you're gonna hear it. So like, I think mumble rap is an incorrect term, except for Future.
I mean, that guy mumbles a lot. So.
I think Future is a cause of mumble rap.
I think he's the god of mumble rap. He created it. Like, I don't think
all these other, because they use the same beat and the same flow. Yeah, I don't
because they use the same producer though.
Same producer, same beats.
They use Metro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's indirectly blaming Metro.
No, I'm not saying, but I think it's a connection that is like it's obvious, like a direct line.
Well, yeah, but like
so it's like Metro,
same beat and same flow. Yeah. So like they just clunk it all into one category. That's what you're trying to say?
Well, how else would you clunk things into a category? If they use the same type of beat and the same type of flow, they're pretty much the same category. That's how you categorize things.
Like a rock star.
That's how you categorize things. But that's how Lil Uzi does it. He does sing it like a rock star because he's a fucking rock star. I mean, he says that. Like, his influences are all non-rap influences. But I think where the mumble rap,
not all.
No, that's what he's gone on wax and said like my influences are Marilyn Manson, my influences are dancing.
I know, but just not all of them. It's just like his big influence.
I've never heard him like on wax say like a rap influence. All of his influence, he has said.
How else would you learn to rap?
I mean, he's just making music. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Like he's making music, and to him, this is how it comes out. I mean, I don't think a Lil Uzi is necessarily rap music. I think it's because he's a young African American male, and it's like he uses hip hop beats. And I think his music is not like there's not a genre that's been made yet that can put his music in it. Like I don't think it's rap music, and I don't think it's rock music. I think he is starting to make a genre of music that isn't categorizable. Like I don't think that right now it's categorizable because there's not a category that he fits in. And which is cool, and I think that's why he's such a polarizing figure. Like you can go on YouTube and you see he has 150 million views, and then you have all these other people that are big hip hop fans that hate him because it's like he's not hip hop, and he's not rock. He's Lil Uzi.
Is what do you call it? Chance. It's just spreading into different genres and just growing. Yeah. And everything's.
No,
matching.
it is, but it's like you can't like. I mean, just because he's a young. I don't think that it's. I think it's not in a traditional sense rap, and that's not a diss at all. I mean it more as like you should respect him more for making something that is his own genre. I think he has started a new genre. He doesn't rap. He doesn't rap. You listen to no, he doesn't though. Like he doesn't rap. Like he has his own way of like making music.
I don't know the words, so it's gonna sound like mumble rap, but he's like, come on over.
But they don't rhyme most of the time. Like they don't rhyme. Like
it does rhyme. There's a set rhyme scheme in there.
No, I mean I don't think like I think when I listen to him, I love Lil Uzi. I'm a big fan of his, and I'm saying this from a point of I'm not saying this as a diss at all. I'm saying this is more of like I'm saying it is more of like an accolade. Like he's been able to make something that has transitioned him from being categorizable. Like when you can make music and you can take like hip hop beats, right? Like he works with Metro almost exclusively. Almost all this stuff.
I swear to God, if you call this shit rock,
I'm not saying it's rock. That's the whole thing. It's not rock and it's not rap. It's just like he's not necessarily rapping and he's not singing, but he's making. It's just an energy. It's a vibe. It's
definitely
like
does rap though.
Not in a traditional sense. Like it's closer to like a mumble rap kind of like rap kind of thing. But it's like I mean if you listen to like Biggie. If you listen to Jay-Z, if you listen to like anybody who categorizes as like a traditional rapper, and then you listen to Lil Uzi, you'd be like, this is not the same genre of music.
True.
Like it's like if you listen to Miles Davis, and then you listen to like B.B. King, they make different kind of music. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that's like there's a generational gap between it, and he's making a different kind of music. It's not hip hop.
It's hip hop. That's where I want to set things straight. Hold up. Rap and hip hop are two different things. Hip hop is like hip hop is a vibe. I mean, hip hop is a vibe. Yeah. Rap is your words and what you say and how you say it and what you're doing.
Okay, it's almost like the difference between like it's like I think if hip hop like if we're saying like hip hop is like rock, right? Lil Uzi's metal. Like he's making metal music, you know what I mean? Like in that sense, like he's like this isn't. It's different than like the Rolling Stones. He's making he's making Metallica music. Like he's the Metallica of hip hop. Like if we're like okay, well this is Rolling Stones and this is rock and roll. Like he's taking it to a different genre. He's taking it for a different generation. He's doing it differently. It's like the same vein. Like I'm saying, he's like metal.
I would say he's like the Linkin Park of rock.
No, okay. Yeah. Shut the fuck. Like Metallica's much more of like much more of a compliment.
Have you heard of Black Youngster or whatever his name is?
I'm saying. Metallica's much more of a compliment than Linkin Park. Like you're like downgrading him right now.
Whoa!
I'm saying that
I know that Metallica's much more.
If you knew like the spectrum of rock and roll music, like when Metallica came, like
I'm just connecting vibes together.
I understand. Like I'm saying, like he's creating a new genre just like they did. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you look at the 80s of rock and roll, like in 80s rock and roll like spectrum, right? When you had rock and roll music and it was like this, and it was like. You know, it was starting to kind of like vibe out from like the 70s and 60s of rock and roll. You had a band like Metallica that came in and they sped things up and they made things different. It was heavier and they changed the vibe. I think like this is what mumble rap and this is what Lil Uzi in particular are doing to hip hop. And that's why. So I think that he's kind of like the Metallica of hip hop. I think he's that person who's taking it to a different level, and they're doing different things, and people are backlashing it, and some people are loving it, and it's polarizing because it's different. And I think he is somebody that is one of those, not necessarily, like for me, he's just an easy person to say as like the person that said it.
Dude, I completely want to agree, except it's not in the music and how he's changed. It's the way that they perform. Because the music itself is still hip-hop, but the way that they perform it is different. If you've ever looked at like Lil Yachty versus an Uzi performance versus a Playboy Cardi or 21 Savage sucks at performing, or XXXTentacion. I would call it XXX more Metallica. But.
So, yeah. Well, but I think Lil Uzi was first though, right? Yes.
But have you ever gone back to listen like Lil Uzi in 2011?
What, when he was like 14? Like, no. I mean, like, come on. Like, I mean,
you see the rap influences there, though. Like,
well,
and then
okay.
where he's come from.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So when he was 14 years old and he was still like
when rap was
first,
wait,
14.
14.
Took a microphone. Like, what do you mean?
No, I mean there are videos and music videos and shit. He was probably in the studio. I don't know, but I forgot what we were discussing.
We're talking about mumble rap.
I know we were talking about mumble rap.
We were talking about mumble rap, and I was talking about how
conversation went.
I took it to where I thought Lil Uzi was creating rap's metal genre.
Right. That sounds really funny, but yeah, I mean I want to agree, but it's. I think the music in general is all hip hop. No.
I know. I'm not saying it's not hip hop. I'm saying it's a subgenre.
I'm just saying
creating a subgenre.
It's in the music. It's all hip hop.
Yeah,
I want to say.
I mean, are you gonna say Metallica's not rock and roll? I mean, it is rock and roll, but it's metal. Like
okay,
it's a subgenre.
But
so look at hip hop as a musical.
I think because it's so prevalent and still new, I can't really see it as a subgenre yet. Because it's like what's happening. It's what's.
And that's what the 80s rock and roll music
It's not outcasted. Or I'm not aware of the outcasting because
It's not necessarily outcasting. It's just an evolution. So if you look at rock and roll music from the 70s to the 80s.
Like, oh yeah, I get that. I get what's happening.
There is like a new it's a new breed. It's a new generation of it.
Yeah, but to me it doesn't really. I was saying to me.
10 years from
like
now it will. 10 years from now it will.
I know. I'm gonna be so. I hope I like them. I hope I'm just.
It will though. 10 years from now, you'll be like, yeah, this was like when like this new subgenre of rap and hip hop started, and this was like how.
Oh no, dude! I thought you were saying 10 years from now you're gonna understand like new music and why you think it's trash. I'm like, no, I don't want that.
No, I don't think it's trash, and that's my whole thing. Is like, I don't think it's trash. I think it's just
he hates it.
I just think it's different, and I have no problem with it. Like I said, I started as like I'm a big Lil Uzi fan. I like Lil Uzi. I bump Lil Uzi. I listen to his shit. I listen to all of his mixtapes. I'm a fan of his. I just think that it's time that we get our heads wrapped around the fact that it's a new genres of rap are gonna spark up.
Yeah.
Like we had rock and roll music, then we had punk, then we had metal, and then we had like all these different subgenres that started because that is inevitable. You know, we have different people that are approaching the same type of thing. They're gonna create different subgenres. And if you're an old hip hop head and you want everything to be like it was in the 80s and 90s, then you're gonna be pissed off. And Joe Budden needs to start taking more Xanax because he's just a pissed off. Like somebody get him a script for Xanax because that guy is gonna have a heart attack in the next like year if he doesn't like just calm the fuck down.
All right. Anyways, you gotta bring this cock.
Do that one more time. Do it one more time.
No, we gotta bring this podcast to a wrap.
Do it again.
It's over.
Do it again.
I'll see y'all next week.